So welcome, Gloria, and thank you so much for agreeing for this particular interview. I'm pretty sure that your story will be really helpful for all the PhDs trying to get into academics. All right, so a little bit brief introduction about Gloria. She has recently joined as assistant professor at New Mexico State University.
Yeah.
And the best part is that's right after her PhD. So congratulations, Gloria, for that.
Thank you so much.
So Gloria has background in civil and structural engineering till her PhD. And right after her graduation, she joined New Mexico State University as assistant professor. So welcome, Gloria, for the chat. So let's start with you a little bit introducing yourself other than what I just said.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I'm Gloria Zhang. I'm currently an assistant professor in the civil engineering department at New Mexico State University. As Jay said, like I just joined this department for 1 semester. My research focused on 2 main research topics. The first one is for the automated infrastructure inspection by using robotic technologies and remote sensing, which are more specifically like UAV or drone-based inspection. And the other research topic I'm working on is the multifunctional materials and structures with sensing and energy harvesting and computation capabilities. Basically, we are using the mechanical metamaterials as the body and then try to integrate different types of functionalities into the material itself and make the material itself as a media of different types of functions. That's it.
Thank you so much, Gloria. So anyone interested in metamaterials or robotics know whom to contact now.
Yeah, I hope.
Yeah. Okay, so Gloria, so give us a little bit background, like were you always sure that you want to get into academics right from the beginning of your PhD? Because from my experience, what I've seen is it takes a little bit of planning to finish your PhD and in parallel start looking for faculty positions as well. So how did it start for you?
Actually, that was a very interesting story. I would like to start from my master's, because when I started my master, I never thought about to become a PhD, because I want to find a job right after my master. Then I did got a job offer when I graduated from University of Southern California. And meanwhile, I got an offer for the PhD study. So at that moment, I was hesitating, like, should I go for industry or academic? This is a hard decision. The main reason I picked for PhD just because of family reasons. Because my husband, he already started his PhD at that moment at University of Pittsburgh. And the job offer, industry job offer I got was in Los Angeles. So definitely that was a very big issue for us. And I got the PhD offer from University of Pittsburgh. So at that moment, that was the best option for me to start my PhD. So at the beginning of my PhD, I've never thought about I will become a faculty or I will stay in academia, because I kept my mind still like, okay, after I have a PhD, I will still go to the industry, because I think I might be more suitable or more comfortable with the industry work. Until I started working with my PhD advisor and on the research topic I've never touched before. So my research background is very low before I started my PhD. I was in very traditional civil engineering background, like concrete, steel, and something like that. It's very traditional. After I started working with my advisor, we started the new topics like materials, metamaterials, and nanogenerator inspections, UAVs, something like that. And I was assigned to multiple projects. After I started working on these new concepts I've never touched before, I found out that they are very interesting, and I really enjoyed doing everything related to research. Because I could spend like more than 14 hours a day just on the research task, and I've never get bored and tired. from that moment, like I found out maybe I really enjoy research, but I didn't know before I started my PhD. Then after my qualified exam, I started really working on some like higher level research. I found out I enjoyed it even more. So at that moment, I decided, okay, after my PhD, I will continue doing research. No matter I will continue as a postdoc or like find a faculty position. But at that moment, I feel like research will be the option for me. No matter it's doing research for industry, government, or like working in a university. But for sure, I wanted to do research at that moment. So faculty, of course, is the best option for research people. So I started my like plan for the faculty application from the end of my second year during my PhD.
So what I understood from here is like the way you got involved with totally new things and not just a single field, like you, as you said, you were in metamaterials, automation and everything. Like, did that help you in any way? Like, what was the contribution of your supervisor? Because say, everyone feels like, okay, I need to know something already in advance if I want to commit to a PhD in that particular area. But when I hear your story, it's like, okay, I got a job offer now because of my husband. I got into PhD, and for everyone, like her husband is my colleague. So Joe and I sit next to each other 8 hours in a day. So that's how I met Gloria as well.
Yeah.
So how much would you say the role of your supervisor was to shape your mindset? Because as you said, like by the end of your second year, you were already sure, oh, this is something I want to do. So
yeah, I think the supervisor is very important role during your PhD, because a good supervisor or a good advisor will guide you to the like correct or right direction that fits you the best. So my advisor, actually, our relationship is kind of like special. It's different from like regular like supervisor and student. Since we are not, he is also very young and I was his first PhD student. Somehow we are more like friends, and we discuss a lot about like research, different types of research topics. When I started working with him, he still didn't have the specified research program like he wants to develop, but he knows he is interested in like metamaterials and nanogenerators and inspections. So we had a lot of discussion like how we can form this together to become a very special research direction. So and we have, I think we were meeting with each other at least 3 times a week, something like that, to talk the research progress. So I think that was really helpful, because sometimes those items or those concepts were all new to me, and I always have some concerns or questions I want to get solved immediately. Since he is very approachable, so which saved a lot of my time. And whenever I have any concerns or I need to move to the next step, I will just email him or text him, okay, can you check this very quickly before I move to the next step? I think this is very helpful, because if he didn't check and then I went the wrong direction and I spent another week on this wrong direction, it was waste of time. But he is always there for whenever I need his advice. So I think this is the most helpful part.
That's something I've been hearing for the first time. Like, so I heard people meeting their professors maybe once in a week, or maybe sometimes if they're super busy, so they maybe twice, maybe once in every 2 weeks. So what I understood, like that interaction, because as you said, you were his first student. So everyone is in their best mode that time, that, okay, I want to get this done. I want to get research funding there. So somehow you also got benefited out of it in that way, right?
Okay. I think that's for young faculties, like whenever you start your PhD with young or junior faculties, there are upside and downside. For upside is like they will have much more energy and they will be more energetic for research, since they are also under pressure. and they also want to develop their own research program. So they will be much more active with the student. But the downside is for the networking. Like for the young faculties, usually their networking is still in development and they don't know too much, like too many big shots, or they are still establishing their role in this research area. Compared to like some experienced professor, they already have their reputation there and they already have their networks. So compared to experienced professor, this is the downside for the young faculty.
Perfect. So so the first time I met you, you were at Rutgers to meet Joe as well as to give a research talk. So I was really impressed by the number of grants that you already have. So what was the story behind it? Because if you'll ask me, like I finished my PhD and into my postdoc, so I have some idea about it, but how to get an idea which is good enough to get funded. So I still myself still struggle in that manner. Okay, I spent 6 months on it. What's the guarantee that it will get funded? So how did you get across that idea?
Okay, so for my research ideas, sometimes I will first, for different types of funding agencies, they like different types of topics or different types of directions. For DOT, like Department of Transportation, definitely they are looking for something more practical and you can give them the exact outcomes they need. And especially some tools, like DOT, they love tools. Like if you can develop practical tools for them, and it will give you a super shining point for your proposal. For DOT, they prefer practical research more than scientific research because they are more like want to use it for the real project or real like inspections or something like that. For NSF, they prefer crazy ideas. Like NSF, they are like National Science Foundation, so they prefer something like groundbreaking, or at least it's very fancy and new, and like more like the ideas in the air, but you show your ambitious and your experience and your background can make you over there. So they like something really fancy and fundamental. For NIH, since they are health-related funding agency, so they are looking for any type of health-related applications. I wrote an NIH proposal just because I can develop one type of sensors that might be useful for the patient activity monitoring. So for NIH, they will have different types of call every year, and you should be able to find that type of call. You might have possibilities to submit your proposal. Since we are civil engineering, it sounds like we have no chance to get NIH proposals, but that is wrong because engineering background or engineering judgment will give us a lot of opportunities in the health-related area. Because, for example, when they are developing some sensors or they are monitoring like human body recovering, these are all mechanics. So mechanics need engineers' help. So you will find an opportunity there, and you can search the available funding opportunities and find the one that you might be possible to submit a proposal. And for some other funding agencies like NASA, they like everything that is weird or that sounds like you have the imagination how your application can be used on the Mars, on the moon. So anything related to space discovery, that will be possible to be funded by NASA. But for NASA, there are some restrictions for international PIs. Some projects or some proposal calls, they restrict it to US citizens, but for some of them, there's no restrictions. So definitely we can look at the one without any restrictions.
So what I understood here is just be aware of what each funding body looks for. Yes, and prepare your idea around it rather than being selfish in your own research area and think, okay, if I'm not doing this, I'm not going to do the other way around.
Yeah.
So as you said, being open-minded is something which kind of helped you while
Yeah.
getting this fundings, because as you said, your field is different, but you're getting funding from a completely different funding organization.
Yes. So something like you need to be open-minded for everything, and to be informative, like to attend a lot of available online webinars for these different type of funding agencies. They will give information like what they want for this year and what is a goal for next 5 years. So you're trying to, even you have the idea already and you really want to do it. For example, like I want to develop a sensor that can sense the pressure. So, but I want to get funding to support it. So I will make it, write the proposal, get close to the funding agency, but the fact of the sensor is the same. For example, if we submit a proposal to FAA, and we will say, okay, I can measure the pressure on one part of the body of the plane, and that's the same, even it's just a pressure sensor, but I make it close to airplane, so it fits the goal for the FAA. So once you have that idea, you need to find a suitable place for it.
That was really insightful, Gloria. Like, I had never heard this clear definition of how to apply for different grants. So thank you so much for that. I'm pretty sure it will be really helpful for many PhDs out there who are not just like, who just want to know what's after PhD. So you actually are helping them out. And thank you so much for that.
Yeah, actually, I'm still growing, like compared to many other professors in our department. I'm still like not that good, but I'm trying to communicate with it more and learn from other people. That's also one resource, like you can talk to your peers. Usually they are, especially those who are more experienced than you, and they will give you a lot of suggestions that will be useful.
So another thing, Gloria, like how challenging was it to present yourself out there, because you didn't have that traditional background, like a PhD, then a couple of years as a postdoc, having some more papers under your belt. Like you didn't have that traditional background. So how did you overcome that? What was the mindset behind it?
So I would like to say, whenever people see me on campus, usually they think I am a student. This happens a lot. But I would feel happy for that because like I'm still looking young. But yeah, back to your point, like whenever you are talking with people with more experience than you, and you should be humble sometimes, like, but you should show your knowledge in a humble way. Like whenever they talk about something and you have some ideas, you can just say it out and ask for their suggestions or their recommendations. And don't be afraid to talk about your ideas and your opinions. That's important because the more you talk to like experienced people, you will become more mature in different ways. So that would be helpful, like talk more to any experienced people and ask for their suggestions. Don't be shy. Yeah, that's my like my strategy, because I don't like, I agree, like compared to many people I'm not experienced, and the most important thing I need now is experience, but this cannot come in one day. You need to experience a lot of, or wait for a long time to get experienced or mature in most of the areas. Yeah, but that's just about time, and you need to present yourself and introduce yourself to more people and give your ideas to more people and ask their suggestions.
Perfect. So following the same conversation ahead, I was looking at your webpage. You run Z Lab as well. And I looked at your background. So it was like you graduated, I think, in June 2022, and you started working at New Mexico State University by August. How long ago did you start planning for it? Because I think US works differently, that there is a particular time when applications get open and then you have to apply for it. And that must be a long process. So would you like to walk us through that, please?
Yeah, so if you are planning to apply for the faculty position, you need to apply 1 year before. For example, I joined NMSU in last August. I started applying in August 2021. So it's 1 year before you need to start searching the job opportunities in different websites like Hire EDs, jobs, and career path, something like that. You need to start searching the positions that are available online 1 year before. And you need to keep searching because they are not coming out at the same time. Some of them come out in August, some of them come out in October, November, or even January. So in that half year, you need to keep searching. And then whenever you see an opportunity that fits you, you should submit your application. So after you submit your application, usually on the application page, it will tell you like when is the deadline for the application. And usually the search committee will start reviewing all the applications they received after the deadline, maybe 1 week or 2 weeks after the deadline. And then it might take 1 to 2 months for them to screen all these applications. They will come up with a short list. In a short list, they will contact these people on the short list for the first round of interview. The first round of interview will be Zoom or phone call. I think after COVID, people are using Zoom a lot. So it will be the Zoom interview, and that was about 30 minutes for each candidate. It will just talk about very general questions like what is your research interest and what is your teaching interest and what is your future plan, something like that, and how you think you are fitting for this position. Very general interview. After the first round of interview, about 1 month later or half month later, they will come up with a final list. There will only be 3 to 5 persons on this final list, and they will invite them one by one to the campus visit. For the campus visit, you will come to the campus, and then usually that are 2-day interview. You will come to the campus on the first day and have dinner with the search committee or any other faculty members inside the department. And on the second day morning, you are supposed to give a research talk, like seminar-based research talk. And after that, you will have a chalk talk. The chalk talk basically is talking about your proposal plans, like how you're going to write a proposal and how you think your ideas can be found by different funding agency. After that, you will talk with each faculty members inside the department individually. Each of them might be about 30 minutes. So, and then you will talk with the department head, and then you will talk with the dean of the engineering school, or some schools, they even ask you to talk with the provost. So it depends. In general, the campus on-site interview is just about talk. The second day, you will talk from 7 a.m. to like 9 p.m. after the dinner. Yeah. And after your second round interview, you will go back to your place. And after they finish all the on-site interview with the people on the final list, they will sit down together. The search committee will make the final decision, like they will rank all these candidates to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then the department head will call the top candidate first to start the negotiation. If the negotiation comes to agreement, they will just send out the offer, and all other 4 candidates were out. So if the first one is not does not agree with the offer, so they will come to the second one, and then the third one, fourth one, and last one, until they find someone and send out the offer and accept the offer.
So what I understood here is like even if you get the interview call, you need to be mentally prepared to kind of give the selection committee a clear picture of your next 5 years, maybe like, okay, first day I'm going to do this. And as you said, they ask you about your teaching interest too. So did you end up developing any course around your research as well?
For now, not yet, because for this, I just started teaching this semester. For my first semester, I was not teaching, so that was teaching reduction. And I started teaching from this semester and teaching the undergraduate course. But later, after this semester, next semester, I'm going to teach a graduate level course. That might be either a new course I can develop by myself, or it will be an existing course here. So you do have the opportunity to develop your new course.
Perfect. So Gloria, since we only have 5 more minutes left, so I would ask you a very generic question, which kind of answers every aspects of anyone who will hear this interview out. So from the first day, someone entering into PhD, because as you said, you entered a totally different research area, you had no idea, right? And by the time you graduated, you already have a job offer, right? So how will you picturize it for someone who is planning to get into PhD?
So I would like to say, you never know what will happen in your PhD, but in your first year, you could see if you like your current topic or not. If you don't like it, you really don't like it, and you might consider to change your topic, because I think if you like something, you will really enjoy doing something. But if you don't like something, you cannot be successful in that thing, because whenever you feel you are not comfortable with your current research topic, you might think switch. But if you feel like, okay, I really like it, I feel it's good, and I will continue working on it, and you work hard and be creative, and you will be successful. I think that's the main, the most important part is you should enjoy what you are doing. If you are struggling, definitely you will end up with a very normal PhD life, and you might not have too much outcomes because you are not enjoying it.
So thank you so much, Gloria, for taking our time. It must be late evening for you now. Time to go home, maybe.
Yeah, thanks for the invitation. I hope this will be helpful to you.